People often ask me what kind of game Genshin Impact is and why I play it. And as it is one of my favorite games of all time, even with its flaws, I think it's worth checking out, and so I thought I'd make a little video telling you what it is and why I like it. At its core, Genshin Impact is an open-world, action exploration RPG with an ongoing story, which is my favorite kind of game. The gameplay consists of interesting missions, puzzles, fighting monsters, frequent events, challenges, etc., and particularly the exploration stands out. The world of Teyvat is expansive, beautiful, and packed with things to do. A common flaw in many open-world games is that the world can feel empty, and you don't feel rewarded for straying away from the main quests. In contrast, whenever I'm in a new area in Genshin, I find myself drawn into exploring the lush landscapes. Around every corner is a new secret, a new puzzle to solve, a new challenge to complete. If you'd like an idyllic place to escape to, you will not be disappointed. People had recommended Genshin to me for months before I ever gave it a go, but the thing is, nobody ever explained what kind of game it is. They just said they think I'd like it. My impression was that it was a gacha game where you collect cute anime characters and that's literally it, nothing more. While it is a gacha game, that for me is not the main appeal, and it's not something you necessarily have to engage in at all to enjoy the game and play it to its full. When I finally did give it a go, I was sold within the first 5 minutes after opening the game, just purely based on the stunning open world, the graphics, the music. I couldn't believe I had been resisting for so long for no reason. The story kicks off with you as the traveler and your companion Paimon setting off together in Teyvat in search of your lost sibling. During your journey, you'll meet a whole host of interesting characters, many of whom are playable, and uncover mysteries of the past while solving puzzles and fighting monsters. So let's look at some of the reasons I love this game. Gorgeous open world, you get to explore freely. An incredible and ongoing story that starts slightly rough, but it gets better as the game progresses. Tons of lovable characters with unique personalities, talents, and play styles. Incredible and in-depth battle system, where you make up teams of up to 4 characters and combine their talents and skills to your liking and best ability, including causing reactions with their elements, which is something I've personally never experienced in a game before. Forgiving learning curve with a lot of depth. I think this game is beginner friendly, but if you do feel like getting into it, there's a lot of depth and a lot to explore. The variety in gameplay and events, there's something for everyone. Co-op with other players is fun, especially the events. As an experienced player, some of the greatest joy I get from the game is from helping my friends get through the difficult parts so that they can get to enjoy the game as much as I do. Completely free to play friendly. Everything can be completed without having to invest real money into the game, which I think might just be fairly unique to a gacha game. I don't play a lot of gacha games, but my impression of them is that at some point you will hit a wall and you will not be able to progress unless you're willing to spend some money. Not the case for Genshin. What about the negatives? Well, the gacha system. While there are built-in guarantees, meaning you eventually get what you're after if you spend your wishes wisely, it can take a lot of wishing to reach that point if you're unlucky, and that can be very disheartening. It can be painful to compare the number of characters or weapons you have to what other people have, and it might make you feel like other people are far luckier than you. For some, that translates into feeling like they've failed, despite the fact that failure has nothing to do with RNG. Events and dailies can cause FOMO, which might make you rush through content, especially early on, instead of taking your time and enjoying it to its full. While the game doesn't require a high skill level to enjoy and complete, the complex combat system and uniqueness of each character can be hard to grasp initially, especially without the help of third-party guides. But don't worry, that's where I and many other dedicated content creators can help you. While watching guides or seeing other players share their characters and builds, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your characters and builds to more experienced or heavy spending players, despite this game not being PvP, which can be disheartening again. However, as long as you're having fun and you're satisfied with how easily you can defeat the content, there's no reason to compare to anybody else's better build Ganyu. Artifact farming is a big problem, both for beginners and for late game players. For beginners, artifacts are overwhelming. There's lots of layers to them, which makes the whole system hard to grasp. And even if you do understand what you're doing, there's no reliable way to get good artifacts until you reach the higher levels. For experienced players, artifacts are probably among the most common reasons for people to quit the game. To get the pieces you want, you have to grind the same fights over and over. After each fight, you get 2 or 3 new artifacts, and then the pain of the random number generator begins. To get the perfect artifact, you need 11 separate rolls of the proverbial dice to go your way. Imagine being given 10 dice, with anything from 5 to a dozen sides, and trying to roll 10 ones in a row. Seeing the first 6 chances roll how you want them to, only for the last ones to fail completely, is the one thing which makes me question my sanity from continuing to play this game. Thankfully, the game's difficulty level means that perfection isn't necessary, but that only takes the edge off the pain caused by artifact farming. One common complaint is that Genshin lacks endgame content. Now that we have 2 years of content in the game, it can take new players months of playing for multiple hours daily before they catch up on everything. The problem is that once you do catch up, there's not at all much left to do. The only real endgame content is the Spiral Abyss, which is fairly short but difficult combat challenge which resets every 2 weeks. And once your characters are strong enough, even the Abyss will only take a couple of hours every few weeks. However, I feel like this problem might be overstated. It can be a nice change of pace just to visit the beautiful world of Teyvat for a few small quests each day, without feeling the need to play for hours at a time. New story content is released with every version, so every 6 weeks, and each version includes multiple time-limited events. While it could be great to have some more repeatable content, or for some of the fun minigames from the events to be permanently available, on balance, it's probably healthier for the game to err on the side of catering to the casual players. With all that said, I think the positives outweigh the negatives, and this is easily one of my favorite games ever, and since it's free to play, I highly recommend giving it a go. I stream on Twitch every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and even if we're not playing Genshin, you can always ask me Genshin related questions, so feel free to stop by and ask me whatever you want to ask. Finally, I have a bunch of guides coming out soon, so make sure you subscribe and make sure you leave a like. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have an amazing day. Until next time!